Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of JPNN. It's Saturday instead of Friday, and that's because yesterday my internet decided to go fuck itself. I didn't tell it to until after it decided to fuck itself, but yeah, it was messed up. So, anyways, news is happening on Saturday. It's all good. Let's go ahead and get to it. Let's begin with a little bit of news from a fairly, I'm going to take my headphones off, from a fairly well-known company called Activision Blizzard. Yesterday, they released a statement, really a summary of an internal review that found no evidence that the company's senior executives looked the other way on harassment claims. Quote, contrary to many of the allegations, the board and its external advisors have determined that there is no evidence to suggest that Activision Blizzard senior executives ever intentionally ignored or attempted to downplay the instances of gender harassment that occurred and were reported, the report says. It did not address the Wall Street Journal's reporting that Activision Blizzard CEO Bobby Kotick overruled an HR department determination that a co-head of Treyarch be fired over an allegation of sexual harassment. Quote, the review of contemporaneo U.S. Is that a word? Contemporaneo? Maybe that's a legal word. U.S. documentation and statement by relevant individuals shows that media criticism of the board and Activision Blizzard senior executives as insensitive to workplace matters is without merit, the company also said. It acknowledged that there were, quote, some substantiated instances of gender harassment, end quote, but they said they were not evidence of systemic problems. It also pointed to external advisors that it said that it agreed with the board of directors' findings. It goes on to say, quote, over the years, the company has appropriately disciplined and exited employees to ensure that our practices match our policies. There is simply no room at Activision Blizzard for anyone who does not practice our corporate value of providing a safe, inclusive, and welcoming workplace that serves as a model for our industry. The report continued with the findings, according to my editor, more the lack of findings, but ended with Activision Blizzard taking the issue with the California Department of Fair Employment and Housing, referring to the agency's ongoing lawsuit against it as, quote, highly inflammatory, made for press allegations. So they're blaming the media for all of the things being blown up, I guess. You know that meme where it's like the hot dog? It says we're trying to find whoever did this. And yeah, that's what filled my brain the entire time while reading and hearing about all of that stuff. Just absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Let's move on. A majority of workers in the game industry would join a union after facing poor workplace conditions, according to a new report from the Uni Global Union. We needed a report for that? Really? The firm surveyed industry employees across 29 countries and found that 66 experienced low pay, 43% faced inadequate benefits and excessive work hours, while 35% dealt with workplace discrimination or harassment. It also reports that 79% of respondents expressed support for unionizing their places of work. 15% were neither for nor against, and 6% voted against it. Those are probably all upper management and CEOs, I would imagine. For people who voted in support of unionizing, 77% cited low pay as the reason. 46% of women and 43% of non-binary respondents mentioned gender discrimination as the reason. Uni Global Union General Secretary, that's a mouthful right there, Secretary Christy Hoffman stated, quote, this groundbreaking report reveals global trends of recurrent employee dissatisfaction that make working in the digital entertainment industry unfair, unequal, and unsustainable for many workers. Video game workers are coming to Berlin to deliver a strong message to the titans of the sector, It's time to fight for our rights. We are going union. More power to you. I don't know why you needed a report for that, but maybe it looks better in the corporate structure. Who could say? Who could say? Epic Games has announced a new crossplay tool that'll let developers connect their games and communities across different storefronts and platforms. As it stands, two players that own the same game on two different storefronts cannot play it together. With this tool, developers can enable crossplay across two services. In a blog post, Epic also said that the tool will also let players roll their friends list across multiple platforms into one single list. That's pretty awesome. As well as offer search tools and game invites across the two launchers. Great. The tool currently works between the Epic Game Store and Steam, but console and mobile functionality is also in the works. Sounds good to me. They put out a statement that said, crossplay gives all friends the opportunity to come together and create fond memories across interactive experiences, said Epic's Senior Director of Online Services, Simon Allaise. Goes on and says, we are in the fortunate position to drive change in the industry with crossplay tools for all developers, and we believe that connecting friends and communities will take the gaming industry to its next major growth spurt and its next billion players. Cool, great, get that working on consoles. I'm sure Sony, the popular eatery, is going to really be on board with just letting that work and be no problems at all, right? That's how it's going to go. Xbox CFO Tim Stewart reportedly said that supply chain issues have been affecting the games market will likely continue throughout 2022. In an investor call hosted by financial services company Baird, Stewart said that he expected, quote, the supply chain environment could remain rocky through 2022 and the holiday season. The supply chain is impacted by recent lockdowns in China, he added. Manufacturers are facing two issues, according to Stewart. One, limited parts, which he reportedly said favors Series S consoles, and elevated logistics pricing pressuring margins. That's a mouthful. I get it, though. Shit's getting more expensive. Sure. Let's move on to EA. Their CEO, Andrew Wilson, has seen his pay reduced by $19.9 million, down from $39.2 million previously. The roughly $20 million pay cut was signaled last summer when EA acknowledged, quote, stockholder feedback, end quote, from a non-binding but decisive say on pay vote. In a nutshell, stockholders said EA's executives were being handed pay awards from the company pot that were too large and too frequent. In response, EA said it would make, quote, substantial changes, end quote, to the pay of executives. We live in a world where a motherfucker can take a $20 million pay cut and they're fine. Data from itmeJP, mobile apps market intelligence, has revealed Diablo Immortal garnered over 8.5 million downloads in the first 2 weeks of release, earning developer Blizzard more than $24 million in the process. Holy shit. The new release means that Diablo Immortal has quickly become one of the developer's most downloaded apps, as well as its second highest earner behind the mobile version of the company's popular card game, Hearthstone. Apple consumers generated $13 million and player spending on Android was $11 million. The game has proven especially popular in the United States, where users were responsible for 43% of all revenue, with South Korea providing 23%. Japan accounted for 8%, Germany 6%, and Canada 3% of the title's total spending, with the remaining 17% of revenue coming from other markets. Kind of interesting stats there. I didn't expect the U.S. to be leading, but I guess it is Diablo. So we'll see if that holds over the next couple of months. I suspect that it will. Final Fantasy VII's 25-year celebration showcase happened on Thursday evening. Sorry, I had to think back for that. Just some quick highlights and reveals. Final Fantasy VII Intergrade is currently available on Steam, finally. The Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, which is the free-to-play mobile phone game, well, that's a little bit redundant, is the free-to-play mobile game, which is a compilation of all of Final Fantasy VII, spanning the whole Final Fantasy VII saga and encompassing all the various spin-off games over the years. That'll be getting a closed beta sometime this year. Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion, a full remaster of PSP exclusive Crisis Core, will arrive this winter for PC consoles. And then finally, Square Enix revealed the second game in the trilogy of Final Fantasy VII Remake, titled Rebirth, will be coming next winter. Pretty excited. Oh, my editor also notes, to avoid confusion, Square Enix fiscal year starts on April 2023 till March 2024. So most likely that means that we'll be getting it sometime in 2023, I guess. We'll see. Following Final Fantasy VII 25-year showcase announcement, Square Enix also shared messages from creative director Tetsuya Nomura and producer Yoshinori Kitase. In them, Nomura shared that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is being designed so that people can enjoy this game whether they know the original game or not, meaning it's a new game. In fact, new players might even enjoy starting their Final Fantasy VII journey with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth because it's a new game. Nomura also confirmed that the development for the final game in the trilogy has already begun by saying the development of the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth has been progressing rapidly since we adopt a new development structure. A title of this scale in which everything is interconnected, even before production began, is truly rare. In fact, some development has already begun on the third title. I myself have started on the development and I'm working towards the completion of the series. Kingdom Hearts fans, get excited. You've got something even more convoluted coming your way. Kitase also shared his thoughts for the second game, stating, quote, making the middle part of the trilogy has its own challenges. But there are plenty of classic second installments in the world of film, I love this quote, that are defined by the stunning story twist and deeper exploration of their characters. Often, these second installments become a favorite amongst the fans. So, yeah, that's great. Get ready for the Empire Strikes Back of Final Fantasy VII. Alongside all that, Square Enix Japan also shared new details for Crisis Core Reunion, which is the fan translated, and that will feature new. Wait, what? Oh, this information is fan translated. That'll have new 3D models. The game will be fully voiced. It will be system optimized, and newly created UI environments will be there. Improved character and camera control, various skip features, as well as a newly arranged BGM. Cool stuff. Alongside all of this stuff happening at the Final Fantasy VII 25-year reunion, Capcom had a Dragon's Dogma 10-year anniversary showcase where director Hideki Itsuno revealed, after speaking for about 10 or 12 minutes, that Dragon's Dogma 2 is currently in development. It was very, very quick. They revealed their shirts and it said Dragon's Dogma 2. Then they showed like a logo screen. We reacted to all of it. If you want to watch that video, we reacted both to the Final Fantasy VII and Dragon's Dogma in the same video as it was all happening live. For what it's worth, Dragon's Dogma is using the Resident Evil engine, the RE engine. So pretty exciting stuff. Should look really good. Can't wait to play that game when it comes out in 2030. Supermassive's The Quarry and Squanch's, I hate that company name, High on Life, which were revealed at last week's Xbox conference, were meant to be Stadia games and had been in development with Google if they hadn't downsized the Stadia gaming operation. Neither of the games have been officially associated with Stadia, but Axios sources say both games were projects that previously were made for Google and presented as signature Stadia releases, meant to draw players to the streaming service. That's really surprising. Reps for both games declined to directly answer Axios' questions about the game's Stadia's roots. But Supermassive Games, quote, was looking for a publishing partner as the project came to completion. A rep for Take-Two said of the Quarry, noting the publisher was proud to help release the game. As for Squanch, a spokesperson offered less context and simply stated which platform High on Life is slated for. And of course, the Google rep did not reply to request for comment about Stadia because no one's working on Stadia anymore. 11-Bit Studios announced that Moonlighter has sold over 2 million copies, and the other title they've put out, Children of Morta, has also sold over 1 million copies worldwide. Congratulations to that publisher. Beautiful Desolation, by the way, is currently free on the GOG store for 3 days. The promotion started yesterday, so there's only 2 days remaining. Make sure to grab it. You can always grab any of those demos on Steam that are happening over the weekend. I think you have till the 20th, so about 48 hours from this time, about 36 hours from time of this video being recorded and or launched. We'll be back Monday for more JPNN to recap anything that happens. Probably be a lighter Monday show. We'll make sure to let you know what games are coming out. There's no game, not until like end of the month. And then they all come out. That was supposed to be whispered. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on Monday. We're out here. That's been JPNN. Bye-bye.